Hello, in this video I'll be running through how to analyse and reduce your baseload. For this we'll be using the adult advice pages, which are designed for adult users of Energy Sparks or older pupils. Much of the analysis should be accessible to Key Stage 3 to Key Stage 5 pupils. Electricity baseload is the electricity needed to provide power to appliances that keep running at all times. It can be measured by looking at the power a school consumes overnight when the school is unoccupied. This is one of the most useful benchmarks for understanding a school's electricity use. All schools should aim to reduce their electricity baseload per pupil to that of the best schools. Schools perform roughly the same function, so should be able to achieve similar electricity consumption, particularly out of hours. Energy Sparks carries out a range of analysis on your baseload to help you understand how to improve it. Reducing a school's baseload is one of the fastest ways to reduce energy consumption and save money in carbon dioxide. For each 1 kilowatt reduction in baseload, the school will reduce its overall electricity consumption by 1 kilowatt hour for every hour of the year. So over the whole year, the reduction will be 8,760 kilowatt hours. If a school is paying 15 pence per kilowatt hour, this reduction could save £1,300 per year. If they're paying 40 pence, that saving would be £3,500. The school would also reduce its carbon footprint by about 1,700 kilograms of carbon dioxide. On the baseload advice and the Insight tab, we show a comparison between the baseload of your school and our well-managed top 30% of schools. Below this, we show some activities to try with your students or actions for staff to take if you want to reduce your baseload. There are a few things to watch out for with baseload. A generally high baseload where your school consumes more overnight than most schools, a sudden increase in baseload, or a large variation, either a variation between days of the week, seasons, or one that has no obvious pattern. If you've signed up to receive weekly email alerts, you should receive an email that looks like this. It will alert you if your baseload is much higher than expected or if there's been a sudden change. If you receive a message to say there's been a sudden change, it's always advisable to act on it, or it could be very expensive in the long run. If your baseload is high, you could try doing our baseload audit activity. Start by making a note of all the things that should be left on at all times, for example fridges, freezers, servers. Record these on our baseload audit tool. We've suggested some approximate energy consumption for a number of pieces of equipment, but you can overwrite them or add more if you know how much power your appliances use. Then count up all the things you think should be left on standby. Assuming these are newer than 2013, they should only use a small amount of power, but having a lot of these things will all add up. The spreadsheet will calculate what you think your baseload should be. How does it compare to the baseload Energy Sparks is reporting? What else could be missing from your calculations? Go around the school and look for things that use electricity. Think about which might get left on overnight, either on purpose or by mistake. Plan for the future. How can you keep your baseload down? If things are left on by mistake, think about how you can stop that happening in the future. Could you add switch-off lists to all classrooms? Does your school need new policies to make sure energy consumption is taken into account when buying new equipment? Could timers be fitted to existing equipment, such as lights, water coolers and ICT equipment? If there has been a sudden increase like this in your school, the first thing to do is to find out when this happened. Click on the day you can see the increase, or just before it, and click on the forward 1 day and back 1 day buttons to see if you can spot what changed. Try to find a normal day and see what the daily pattern looks like. What's the consumption first thing in morning and last thing at night? When you find the date of the change, see if you can find out what happened on that day. For example, this school had new lighting fitted at this time and since have had problems with the number of lights remaining on for 24 hours a day. Some schools will have a large weekday variation, such as this example. You can see a repeating pattern of high and low consumption throughout the year. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, there's a table showing an estimate of how much the schools could save by getting their high weekday overnight usage down to the same level of their weekend overnight usage. Often, this is caused by people in school being better at switching off on Friday evenings than at the end of the school day the rest of the week. Adding a daily switch-off checklist and appointing classroom monitors or the after-school club or cleaners to make sure things are switched off can help with that. Sometimes there are things on automatic timers that switch on a Monday morning and off on a Friday night. If that's the case, simply change the timers so that they switch things off every evening. A large seasonal variation, where overnight consumption is higher during the winter, can sometimes be caused by inefficient security lighting, but often by electric heating that gets left on overnight. You can see at this school their consumption is higher each year during the winter than the summer. Our analysis table at the bottom of the page shows how much energy, carbon and money could be saved if the electric heating was switched off overnight and the winter overnight consumption was brought down to the same level as during the summer. It will depend on the heating system, but in many schools this sort of pattern happens because they have a number of standalone electric heaters in hard-to-heat areas of the school. They get turned on when people are cold and then forgotten about. If this is the case in your school, make sure people are reminded regularly to switch them off or get timers for them. Why not explore the baseload analysis page for your school and see what you can find out? Your Insights tabs show some examples of activities your pupils could do or actions your staff could take to reduce your baseload. We also have a programme of activities to try with your pupils to understand, review and reduce your baseload. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to have a look at some of our other video guides to help you make the most of Energy Sparks at your school. Bye for now.